Hey there guys, welcome back. Today is going to be episode 3 in the questions and answers series where you ask me questions and I attempt to give you answers. Currently I'm camping with my family up in the White Mountains of Arizona, so that's what the aspens and pine trees are that you see in the background. Beautiful area, and if you're not familiar with Arizona, there's actually a lot of forest, and I believe it's the second or first largest ponderosa pine forest in the world, so kind of an interesting tidbit. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get to your question. Okay, here goes take 2. I started this video up in the White Mountains of Arizona and I started getting rained out. Got a little bit of rain on the lens and I figured I'd just re-record the questions, but still give you the intro because it was such a nice location. So, all right, to start off, real quick, actually, one other thing I did want to point out. With this, I'll answer the questions, and then after this, I think what I'm going to start doing is maybe going over some of the projects I have coming up, if they may be of interest to you. So, first off, first question is from Henry Puyi, great commenter, fellow Arizona Wildcat, and cheers to you with the Copper Cup, Henry. I told you I'd do that, and here's your answer. He says, Joe, you have a nice array of tools. How did you acquire them, and what do you have? Well, I think I probably won't go over all of them just because there's a whole bunch to list, but I think maybe what I'll do is I'll incorporate it in a shop tour in the future. I have another question in here that is along those lines as well. But for the most part, most of the tools you see in my videos are what I use. So table saw, circular saw, a chop saw, and then I think 3 different sanders, and my drill, impact driver, reciprocating saw. Those are the little 18-volt series from Ryobi, and a whole host of other little nitpicky tools. Oh, and my drill press. As far as how did I acquire them, most of my tools I've acquired either through Craigslist or manufacturer refurbishers. So for instance, my Hitachi chop saw and the circular saw, those are both green. You'll see them in a lot of the videos. I got those from bigskytool.com out, I believe, in Alabama or Georgia. They refurbish different brands of tools, and I got both of those shipped to my house, believe it or not, for under $100. So anyway, I have a few other really awesome deals like that and some good Craigslist finds. But I think what I'll do is I'll incorporate those into a future shop tour, and you'll see kind of the rest of the answer there. So on to the next one. The next one is from Gavin Murray. He is from Ireland. He actually wanted to let me know that he recently applied for a firefighter position in his town and came in second out of the testing class. So that's awesome, Gavin. Cheers to you. That's something to be proud of, and I hope you get the job. It's a fantastic career. So anyway, long story short, he said he pretty much rebuilt the ins and outs of his current rented home and wants to live in a log cabin in the future, which is awesome. If I didn't live in the desert, log cabin would totally be my choice. But anyway, so he's done a whole bunch of projects. He's been doing a garden with his son Logan, which I think is absolutely awesome. And number one, doing projects on your house I think is the best way to learn. So I think you really got a good start on a long life ahead. So his question is, he's been wanting to do a bed like the one I built for my daughter and actually morph it with some of the pallet projects to kind of give it that rustic look. And he asked if I would like to see the finished product. Absolutely. I actually sent him a private message with my email. If any of you have any projects that you've done that maybe my videos have inspired you, or maybe other YouTube people have inspired you, please let me know. Maybe I'll incorporate a new segment, call it Inspirations or something like that. But I think that would be really cool. I'm certainly not the most talented guy out there, and I get motivated from people doing other projects. So, maybe your projects will help motivate others. So definitely do that, Gavin, and look in your private message area in YouTube. All right, next question is from Russell Park. Hey Joe, I have a question. Do you plan on doing a shop/property tour to show all your cool projects that you have done? I have been meaning to do that for a long time, and now that you've mentioned it, and Henry, you mentioned the tool question, definitely, absolutely. I've done a lot of projects before I even got into the YouTube thing, and my wife has mentioned that I should show some of them off, but I just haven't done it yet. So Look for that in the future. Like I said before, I can't remember who asked it, but it'll be probably incorporated in other videos, but I will do like maybe a walk around. I've got some things around the property, like a trail around the property that I walk and run and do different things like that. You saw a little bit of it in the welding mask video. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show a little bit of everything. It's not much, but you know, maybe it'll give you an idea of projects to do for your own house or homestead or apartment or whatever. Okay, so next one is from Blackberry Hideout. Her name is Jessica, and she's also my sister. She had a question or a comment. She said, for a future Q&A session, you might want to share with the viewers how we had gardens at almost all of our homes while growing up. They also may be interested to know about your first experience with corn. Well, she's trying to embarrass me here, but it's not really embarrassing. I think it's kind of funny. We did have gardens all growing up, and probably our biggest garden was when we lived in Louisiana. I was actually from Bastrop, but in a town just south in Gina. We lived in a rural area, and we had a big plot of corn in the field next to our garden. And if you know anything about corn, when they tassel out, they get like blonde tassels or brunettes or red tassels, and they kind of look like hair. So apparently as a little boy, I remember a little bit of this, but I would walk through the fields talking about my girlfriends, my blondes, my brunettes, and my redheads. So anyway, you know, talking about creative ways to enjoy your garden. I guess that was mine. And next up is a question from My Two Cents, a man that I respect very much. He'll know what I'm talking about. He says, hey, you know, it'd be handy, a solar dehydrator. I saw a great one on the American Homestead channel. I did watch that video. It was a fantastic dehydrator, and actually I do have plans to build something very similar, although much smaller. So look for that in the future, My Two Cents. And thanks for pointing me out to that video. That was a great one. Next one after that is Mr. Shep 75. Mr. Shep, he says, how often do you clean the straw out of your chicken coop, and what do you do with the dirty straw? Well, the quick answer is I put it in a composting tumbler, and I have two videos on my Blue Barrel composting tumblers that tumble the straw and chicken poop until it turns to compost. It takes about 2.5 to 3 months, and it's quite an amazing change. So maybe I'll do a video of that in the future, just showing, you know, where I take the chicken's poop and straw, put it in the composter, and then I'll pull it out of the other composter because I've got two of them. And that way you can really see the difference, you know, within about a 30-second period. So I hope that answers your question, and we'll go on to the next one. So the next one is from PKC. It's 000 PKC 000. As you said, you don't live that far from the city, and you have a daughter, and she has a normal social life with a few differences. I'm interested in this kind of lifestyle. What kind of sacrifices do you see with this lifestyle? And what kind of attitude do you have to adopt to fully benefit from this lifestyle? Well, I don't really look at it as too much of a difference in lifestyle. We pretty much do all the same things, and my daughter does all the same things that other people do. We just happen to live a little bit further out, and we happen to do a little bit more for ourselves, you know, growing a garden and trying to do the maintenance and different kind of things around our home more by ourselves. So I would say it's pretty much all the same. And when I do talk about a homesteading kind of lifestyle, I also mean that those of you who live in an apartment, you can still can food and grow in a little balcony garden and do all those different kind of things that can help you be a little more self-reliant. So you know, it's not necessarily living out in the country. You could live in a suburb or an apartment or in an urban area. So I hope that answers your question, and I'll go on to the next one. Next question is from Bill Walter. He says, do you have plans on doing a solar hot water heating system? And he goes on to say a couple different types. I have had plans in the past. I just haven't done it yet. It's probably a little further down on my list. And mainly because what I'll do is I'll do a tank water system that's in a box, an insulated box with a glass window to collect the sun's rays. And that's all fine and well. That doesn't intimidate me. But what does intimidate me is drilling through my wall where my water heater is, because we ran all of our Ethernet cables and other cables and electrical wires in that same wall. and I'm a little bit leery about puncturing that wall, you know, to bring the water lines from the solar hot water heater. So it definitely is a project I'm thinking about, but as of right now, it's pretty far down the list. And then he had a second question. Are there any other YouTube channels that inspire you? Well, there actually are. And for those of you that have maybe known me or whatever, I built my own house, not completely with my own hands, but we acted as the general contractor. And we did a lot of different, a lot of the things ourselves. And a lot of those things I had never done before. Like when I hung my doors, the first place I went is I went to YouTube, and I watched a couple guys, contractors, basically showed me how to hang doors. And then plumbing, when I plumbed all my fixtures in the house and wired all the appliances and different things like that and outlets, I watched a lot of YouTube. I also had a lot of help from family and friends too. My father-in-law, his brother, my wife's uncle Joel, guys that tons of knowledge that I also got from too. But to your question about YouTube channels that inspire me, I have probably over 100 subscriptions. They happen to be in the homesteading, gardening, building, and making kind of things, and then a few random ones. But I'll just give you like maybe 10 or 15 that I watch decently often, and you know, maybe you might want to check them out. So the first ones for projects and building stuff that I came up with is Darbin Orvar. Her name's Lynn. She's a woodworker from Oregon, originally from Sweden. She has a fantastic style sense, design sense, and just a really cool channel, well produced and put together. And actually, I'm going to be doing a project with some beeswax polish that I got from her a little bit ago. I'm actually going to do a couple projects with that. So anyway, if you get a chance, check out Lynn's channel. It's Darbin Orvar. Really cool stuff. On to the other channels, Jimmy DiResta, pretty sure everybody knows him. I like to make stuff. I think his name's Bob Claggett. Drunken Woodworker, that's David Picciuto. Wood Whisperer, Jackman Carpentry, Ron Polk, Jay Bates. Those are all just great craftsmen, way above my league of building. And then as far as like homesteading style videos, I enjoy Boss of the Swamp, Wrangler Star, Jack Spearco. Shoot, I lost where I was at. Anyway, those are some of the homesteading style videos that I enjoy as well. And then on to like gardening and permaculture, Growing Your Greens, Cali Kim, Praxis. I just lost my thing, so I'm just going off the top of my head. Those are some of the gardening ones that I enjoy too, but there's probably about 20. Oh, Permaculture Prepper, he's got some good stuff too. And that's pretty much it. And then I do have like a random or eclectic section of channels that I watch, and I found my spot. Kirsten Dirksen, she does documentaries on all sorts of things, but she'll have urban homesteading and tiny homes and just a lot of different odd things like that. So that's an interesting one to check out. Nomad Barber, the guy travels the world about the tradition and art of barbers and shaving and different things like that in different countries. So kind of just random, but and then the last one is Grant Thompson. He's the king of random. He's probably one of the biggest YouTube channels out there. He just makes random stuff. So probably a mind like mine as far as the eclectic nature of what he likes. But obviously he's a lot more talented than I. So okay, and now I'm on to what's to come, videos and projects to come. I'm going to be doing a rainwater system tour, a gray water system tour, garden tour. I would have done that one earlier, but I got a hole in my fence and the rabbits kind of decimated my garden about a month ago, and I had to replant some stuff, so it's pretty dreary looking right now. Homestead related stuff, I want to make some soap, do some home brewing, some more home brewing, tinctures, stuff like that. And those are also things that I can get my wife involved. She's a lot prettier on camera than I am, so I'm wanting to add that in. Axe handle, I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be finishing it with this beeswax polish from Lynn at Darbin Orvar. And I have another couple projects that I want to use this on as well. Tool/shop tour. I still have my workbench tour to do. I was asked about that in the last Q&A, and I said I was going to do it in 2 weeks, and I started looking at stuff, and I wanted to just play with a couple things and that I'd wanted to do. So that is definitely coming too. And then some camping related stuff. And then just other random things that happen to pique my interest. So as always, guys, I guess this is a little longer than I was anticipating. I was trying to make it 10 minutes, but as always, thanks for watching. If you do have any comments or questions, put them down below and I will try my best to answer them in the next Q&A session. And I think that's pretty much it. So until then, cheers, and we'll see you next time.